Are you a victim of a narcissist gaslighting? They're just picking at you all the time, trying to make you feel like you are crazy. Are you ready to turn it all around? I'm going to show you, first of all, what gaslighting is, and then I'm going to show you how to shut it down in this video. Okay, I'm Rebecca Zung, and I'm a narcissist negotiation expert. I'm also an attorney. And in these videos and on this channel, I teach you how to shift the dynamic with narcissists so that you can become the most powerful version of yourself. And so you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Okay, now let's talk about how to shut down narcissists and how to shut down gaslighting. First of all, they're constantly trying to make you think like you're the one who's crazy, right? Let's talk about what gaslighting is in the first place. Gaslighting is a form of just trying to make you think like you're the one who's crazy. It's a way that narcissists use to get control over you. Why do they do it? Well, because they want to, first of all, make you feel devalued. And by the way, they didn't attach themselves to you. I say this so many times, but in case you're brand new here, in case you're brand new to me, brand new to my world, I think it's really, really worth repeating. Narcissists did not attach themselves to you because you have so little value. They attach themselves to you because you have so much value. They're not stupid. They don't, even though they're constantly devaluing you, constantly trying to make you feel small, they didn't attach themselves to you because you have so little value. They attach themselves to you because you have so much value, because they want to be able to suck that value for themselves. It makes them feel more powerful to devalue something that has so much value. Doesn't that make sense? Think about it. If they're constantly devaluing something that has value, then that bolsters them. They feel better about themselves because they're pushing you down. They don't feel better about pushing something down that they think is low. What value do they get out of that? Think about it. That's why they devalue you. They devalue you because they get off on pushing somebody down that they already feel like is higher than them, or at least equal to them, because then they can like climb their way over and push down something that they already think has value. So think about that. So why do they gaslight? Gaslighting, for one thing, is a form of trying to make you think that you're crazy. They do this to gain control over you, to destabilize you, to make you think that you're crazy. I mean, that's one of the things, one of the reasons. Another reason that they do it, frankly, is to push attention away from themselves when you're trying to hold them to account for something. If you're trying to say to them, hey, I caught you doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing, or that you were supposed to be doing, you know, I think these text messages look suspicious, then they'll say, oh no, that's not what you're seeing. Or you were supposed to do this work and you didn't. Oh, it wasn't me. It was somebody else. Somebody else was supposed to do it. Or that's not what we agreed upon. We agreed on this. And so they do it also not just to make you think you're crazy, but also to project and deflect responsibility off of themselves. So there are a number of reasons that they gaslight. not just to make you think you're crazy, but also to project and deflect responsibility off of themselves, to devalue you, to destabilize you, to build up their own sense of self-esteem. So there's a number of reasons. And by the way, so that you can remember what the word gaslighting means, I'm going to tell you how it originated. The word gaslight actually came from, it was a play originally in the 30s. It then was made into a movie called Gaslight. It was of the same name. And in that, the husband was trying to make the wife think that she was crazy. And so what he was doing was blowing out these gas lamps. And yeah, I think it was set in like the 1800s or something. And she would say, "Oh, wasn't that just lit?" And he would say, "No, no, it wasn't." And she would say, "Oh, I'm pretty sure that was just lit." And he would say, "No, no, it wasn't." And so, therefore trying to make her think that she was crazy, right? And I think, in the end, obviously it didn't work or something to that effect. I don't know. I've never actually seen it, but that's where the term originated. Okay, so that's how you can remember where the term came from. Now, coming back to you, when you are trying to have a conversation with this person and they're projecting, deflecting, lying, denying, whatever it is that they're doing, and they're belittling you, making you feel small, constantly victimizing you, constantly eroding at you, eroding at your self-esteem, eroding at your brain, death by 1,000 cuts, pick, and it can get at you, regardless of whether you are in a business relationship, a personal relationship, a work relationship. They're your boss, your coworker, your family member, whether it's your mother, your sister, your brother, whoever it is, your spouse. It eventually erodes away at you. It's abusive. It's psychological abuse, it's emotional abuse, it's spiritual abuse. It erodes away at your soul. You do start to question your mind. You do start to question your sanity because it's happening on a daily basis sometimes. And eventually you do start to go, did I say that? Is that how that went? And so, you do start to think, I need to start keeping notes. I need to start writing down, did I say that? So, you do need to start taking notes. You need to start a journal. You need to start documenting if you had a conversation with the person, confirming for sure. But in this particular episode, what I want to focus on specifically are phrases that you can use to hit back in a way that allow you to maintain your dignity and not necessarily have backlash, and start to gain respect, put boundaries in place, start to shift the dynamic, start to pivot, because you need to stop the conditioning. You need to start pivoting. You need to start walking forward, not backward, because that's the only way that you'll be able to start feeling your power, start feeling more in control, and start being able to separate yourself from this person and start being able to stop the whole crazy, toxic situation and being able to finally break free. Because your soul knows, those little whispers that you're hearing, the fact that you found this episode, whether you're listening to it on a podcast, whether you're watching it here on YouTube, wherever it is that you're consuming this right now, you found this by divine intervention because your soul knows. Your soul said, it's time. The whispers came knocking, and your soul said, it's not okay anymore. Your soul knows that it was born for more, that you were born for more, and it's waking up and realizing that it's time. What we're going to do now is I'm going to give you some phrases that you can start to use to shut down that gaslighting. And here's how. So you can start to say things like, we remember things differently. When they start to say things like, we had agreed that this is how it was going to be, remember? You're going to say, we remember things differently. And you don't need to say it in a tone. You don't need to say it loudly. You don't need to scream. You don't need to yell. Never put your emotion into it. You just say, we remember things differently. Number two, you can say, if you continue to speak to me this way, I will no longer be engaging. And then you can walk away if they continue to speak to you in a manner that has rage, that has anger, that's disrespectful. You don't need to be in a situation where you are going to continue to be disrespected. And if they scream, if they say, don't walk away from me, you're walking away, that's disrespectful, whatever it is, that's okay, because they are disrespecting you by screaming, by yelling, by disrespecting, by devaluing, by degrading, whatever it is. Just say, I'm no longer engaging, and walk away. That's number two. Number three, you can say, I hear you, and that wasn't my experience. It's sort of the same thing as we can agree to disagree. That old saying, we can agree to disagree. It's something along those lines. Or you just say, I hear you, and that wasn't my experience, or that isn't my experience, something to that effect. I do have a whole video, by the way, on words that destroy narcissists. It's actually not exactly what you might think. It's actually words that will very much permeate narcissists, but help you maintain your own self-respect. I highly recommend that you check out that video, Words That Destroy Narcissists. Next one, very similar to, if you speak to me this way, I'm not engaging. Just simply say, I'm walking away from this conversation. If it gets too heated, if it gets too demanding, if it gets too disrespectful, if it gets to a point where it really is nothing but lying, denying, projection, deflection, full on interrupting, rage, abuse, or certainly anything where you feel that your safety is of concern, absolutely walk away. Absolutely get out of that conversation. Next, say, I'm not interested in debating with you. Just say, I'm not interested in debating with you. I'm not interested in debating what happened with you. You can just say, I'm not going to have this particular conversation with you. We can talk about other things. You can just let them know I'm not going to have this conversation with you. If they will continue with a particular position that is very clearly different than the one that you know to be true. In other words, let me just tell you this. If you saw it with your eyes or heard it with your ears, just know that it happened. Trust your senses. I want you to write that in the comments below right now. I trust myself. I trust myself. I want you to start feeling that. I trust myself. And start to feel like you're going to believe it. I trust myself. The next one is you can start to delineate what you will speak about and what you will not speak about. You can say things like, I'll speak to you about A and B, but I'm not willing to speak to you about C. Or I'll speak to you about C, but I'm not willing to speak to you about A and B, or whatever it is. You just have to be clear about what you're going to be willing to speak about, because otherwise you just are going to get into this conversation that you just don't want to be in. In other words, you just want to make sure that you're making it clear to them you don't believe their lies anymore, and just don't go down the path Don't allow them to lead you down the path. All right. So I'll speak to you about A and B, not willing to speak to you about C, or vice versa. So those are some ways that you can start to shut down gaslighting immediately. If you are struggling and dealing with a narcissist, and you do not have support, you need support, and you're struggling as far as you need therapy, I do have a partnership with BetterHelp online therapy. Go to betterhelp.com/Rebecca Zung and get the help and support that you need. We do have a partnership with them. We do receive commissions from them. It doesn't cost you any extra. We just want to make sure you have the help and support that you need. And we only recommend services that we trust. If you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, you can go to crushmydeal.com and get my free Crush My Negotiation Prep Worksheet and grab my free ebook. It is totally amazing. It has helped many thousands of people win their entire negotiations. So go to crushmydeal.com and get your free ebook. If you need extra support, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and also join me in my free private Facebook group. You will definitely want to do that. So much support in there as well. And if you have not also subscribed to my podcast, you can do that as well. Subscribe to my podcast, subscribe, rate, and review to my podcast, and make sure you know that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. Do not give in. They only win if you give in, and you're not going to do that because there's so much support out there for you. And we are here for you. Thank you for listening. We will see you guys in the next video.